What is your name, please?
My name is Clarence Wilson.
What is your name, please?
My name is Clarence Wilson.
What is your name, please?
My name is Clarence Wilson.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real Clarence Wilson, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Brought to you each week by Geritol, America's #1 tonic, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. And now, may I introduce our panel? What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Jim Backus.
My name is Ann Baxter.
And my name is Hy Gardner.
And may I say how pleasant it is to have you with us tonight?
Thank you, Bud.
And Jim, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, as you heard, these three gentlemen all claim to be Clarence Wilson. Only one, of course, is the real Clarence Wilson. The other two have merely assumed that identity, and they are the ones who do not have to stick to the truth. In front of you, panel, as usual, you will find copies of an affidavit. May I direct your attention to them and ask you to follow along as I read them. I, Clarence Cave Wilson, am a basketball player. Before turning professional, I played in both high school and college. I have played before the largest crowd ever to see a basketball game in history. I have also played in North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. For the past 5 years, I have been the captain of the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. Signed, Clarence Cave Wilson. All right, panel. As you heard now, these three gentlemen all claim to be Clarence Cave Wilson, captain of the Harlem Globetrotters. Only the real Clarence Wilson is required to answer your questions truthfully, and each of you will question until you hear this signal. At the end of the questioning period, we will ask you to record your vote for the one who, in your opinion, is the real Clarence Cave Wilson. We'll start the questioning tonight with Jim Backus. Jim?
All right. Number one, what is the theme song of the Harlem Globetrotters?
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Number three, what is the theme song?
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Number three, when you travel, who referees the games?
We carry our own referees with us.
Well, how can you lose? Number one, who is the manager of the Harlem, the founder, rather, the famous man who created the Harlem Globetrotters?
A.M. Saperstein.
Number two, who played Mr. Saperstein in the motion picture that was made about your fabulous team?
Well, there were two motion pictures. One was played by Jane Clark, and the other one was played by Thomas Gomez.
Thomas Gomez. Number three, where do you play when you play in Los Angeles?
At the auditorium.
Ann Baxter?
It says here that you played all over the world. Now, where did you play number two when you played in Paris?
Palais de Sports, I think it's called.
Palais of Sports.
Yes.
And number one, where did you play in Munich?
We played at the tennis court.
At the tennis court.
Yes.
Number three, was there a narrator on this movie that you made?
Which one of the two?
The first one.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't a narrator on
No.
the first one. Number two, did they use a baby crane in shooting the second picture?
Sorry, I don't know what a baby crane or a large crane or any of those things are.
Hy Gardner.
Number three, to get on with Jim's question, who looked more like Abe Saperstein, Gomez or Dane Clark?
I think Thomas Gomez did.
Number one, who was a fellow named Billy Rowe? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Do you know number 3, Billy Rowe?
Billy Rowe used to
Number
do
3,
some-
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not familiar with
Number
the name.
2, do you know?
He used to do publicity work for the Globetrotters.
Uh-huh. Number 3, what former Globetrotter used to handle the ball with one hand?
Goose Tatum?
Number 2, what team does Goose Tatum play for at the moment? Do you know?
He has a team, I think it's called the Harlem Yankees.
Polly Bergen.
Yankees.
Number 1, it says in the affidavit your name is Clarence Cave Wilson. What does the Cave stand for?
Well, I got that nickname from my hometown of Horse Cave, Kentucky.
Number 2, is that true? Is that where the
It's
name
Horse
Cave?
Cave, Tennessee.
Horse Cave,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. I'm not even going to ask you. Just keep Wisconsin out of the game. And number 1, what is the name of the famous dribbler who's on the Harlem Globetrotters?
Well, the one present is Herman Taylor.
Number 2.
And that's it. I'm sorry, panel, but it's time to vote. So without consultation, as usual, will you mark your ballots? And in so doing, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Remember, please, the team of challengers gets $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel? Starting with Polly. Have you marked your ballot?
I voted for number 2. I always thought it was number 2 from the very beginning. People are always saying I changed my mind, but really, I'm very firm on him, which probably means I'm wrong.
Jim, what about your vote?
Well, I voted for number 3 because at the very start I noticed that he was trembling. And so that's the reason I figured that's the reason.
Good
Oh, by George.
A good basketball player either trembles or dribbles, one or the other. And what's your selection this time?
Well, I voted for number 2 because he wanted to get all the information absolutely straight. And I think that bespeaks a captain to me.
Huh? And High Gardner, your choice.
Well, I voted number 3 strictly on a hunch. When the 3 boys were standing up there, he couldn't stand still. And I've never seen a basketball player who could. You know,
Yes, I know, up there, you mean.
All right, there you have it now. The votes are in, the minds are made up. I'm going to ask you 3 gentlemen, if you will, to get up and stand in front of your desks, please. Because we're about to find out which one of these gentlemen is the real captain of the Harlem Globetrotters. Now, I have here with me a regulation basketball. I'm going to bounce it on the floor. And I'm going to ask the real Clarence Cave Wilson to take it. Wait just a minute, Paul. I want to find out about the other 2 first. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My name is Dr. Garvel Booker. I'm a dentist here in New York City.
Thank you, Doctor. Number 3, what about you?
My name is John T. Patterson. I'm a stockbroker with the Wall Street firm of McDonald Holman.
Polly, you had a question?
Well, I thought, I just wanted to ask Clarence, I thought Meadowlark Lemon was the famous dribbler.
No, he's a comedian. He do all the ball handling.
Oh, he does all the fancy ball tricks.
Yes, he like handling the ball in the circle.
Oh, I see.
Well, they all sort of do fancy ball.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
fancy
All the
bunch.
world.
It's a wonderful team.
Well, yes, you have a question, Jim?
Well, the dentist didn't dribble anyhow.
Nobody attends every drill, believe me. All right. You did a good job. You fooled them all, and I kind of thought you would. And that means that $250 each. There were 4 incorrect votes, meaning a total of $1,000 for you from Jericho. Thanks very much. Best of good luck to you. Now may we have our next team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Gerald Caco Pardo.
What is your name, please?
My name is Gerald Cacopardo.
What is your name, please?
My name is Gerald Cacopardo.
All right, panel, will you follow along with this affidavit? I, Gerald Cacopardo, spent 16 years, almost one-third of my life, in prison. I was tried and convicted for murder, a murder which I did not commit. During my years in prison, I began studying for the ministry, and upon my exoneration and release, I continued my studies in a seminary. I am now an ordained Presbyterian minister with a church and congregation of my own. Signed, Gerald Cacopardo. As you've discovered, panel, these three gentlemen claim to be the Reverend Cacopardo, unjustly convicted of murder. And we start this cross-examination with Ann Baxter. Ann?
Yes, number one, did they ever find the real murderer?
Yes,
And what was his name?
his name was Uncle Paul Petrillo.
Uncle Paul Petrillo. Number three, what was the name of the real murderer?
The real murderer was Uncle Paul Petrillo.
Number two, who was the judge who released you, exonerated you?
Louis Goldstein.
Louis Goldstein. Number one, is there communion in the Presbyterian Church?
No.
There is not.
No.
Number three, is there a communion in the Presbyterian Church?
No.
No, there's not.
Hi, Gardner.
Bud, I met the Reverend Cacopardo many years ago when I was at Sing Sing. Now, let me correct that. Doing a show. And he impressed me greatly, and I've met him since, and so I'm afraid I must disqualify myself as a panelist, but not as a friend. Okay?
All right. Thank you. Very well, we proceed then to Polly Bergen. Polly?
Number three, where is Sing Sing prison?
Sing Sing is at 354 Hunter Street in Ossining, New York.
I thought it was in the water.
It's right next to the water.
I thought it was an island. Oh, no, that's not Oh, I haven't been to many prisons.
No, I'm sure you have.
Number two, who is the warden of Sing Sing now? Number one, who is the warden of Sing Sing?
Wilford Deno.
Number three, who was the warden when you were at Sing Sing?
Louis E. Laws.
Louis E. Laws. Number two, it says now that you have a church and congregation of your own. Where is your church located?
Newark, New Jersey.
Jim?
Number one, how are things in Dannemora?
Pretty tough.
And number two, what? Dannemora? Never mind. Number two, what was your number in prison?
93-708.
I'll call you 93 for short. Number three, what is lockstep?
Well, it's hard to describe. They're all in motion that way.
Number one, what is in prison phraseology, what is a hack?
A hack is a guard, yeah.
That's it, panel. Time once again to vote without consultation again. Will you please mark your ballots and select number one, number two, or number three? Polly, are you musing or marking? Polly?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who's your choice?
Terrible. Well, I voted for number one. It was really very close. All the information, as far as I was concerned, seemed correct, though I don't know too much about the subject. But it was a very difficult choice for me between one and two, and I finally settled for one. I don't know. You had a minister's sort of stature about it. What's funny about a minister's stature?
Jim Backus.
I'm laughing at what is Dannemora?
Oh.
I voted for number 2 because he was delightfully hesitant about his number, and he looks like a real pen pal.
You won't even try to bail you out of that one. No. And what was your vote?
I voted for number 2 because I'm a Presbyterian. And I have taken communion in the Presbyterian church, and I didn't get to ask number 2, so I thought maybe he was one.
I want to change my vote.
Sorry. And greetings, fellow Presbyterians. I disqualified you, so that counts as a wrong vote. So we rack that up as one wrong vote as we find out now, since all the votes are in, as to which one of these gentlemen is the one who was unjustly convicted of murder and finally freed. So I'm going to ask the real Reverend Cacapardo to please stand up. Well, the good Reverend said as he sat down again was pen pal, eh? All right, number 1, should tell us who you really are and what you do, please.
I am J. Anthony Bazzelli. I'm an artist, and I paint with a brush.
And number 3, what about you, sir?
My name is Sal Costa. I sell book match advertising for the Lion Match Company.
Yes, sir.
But I'd just like to mention this. The reason I remembered Jerry Cacapardo so well from Sing Sing is that he played a hot fiddle in the prison band at the time.
Wow, good to know. All right, in checking the voting then, we find that there were exactly 2 incorrect votes, counting the one of Hyde's disqualification as an incorrect vote, for a total of $500 from Geritol. Thanks very much, gentlemen. Good night, good luck, and God bless you. We'll meet a new set of challenges in just a moment, but let's take that moment to hear a message that could be important to you. You'll be sure to ask for Saratan Plus. Now, may we have our 3rd team of challengers, please?
What is your name, please?
My name is Jane Dollinger.
What is your name, please?
My name is Jane Dollinger.
What is your name, please?
My name is Jane Dollinger.
All right, panel, you've had a look. Will you please follow along with this affidavit? I, Jane Dollinger, have spent a good part of the past 5 years in the jungles of South America. I have explored areas that few civilized men have ever seen before and have written 3 books. To gather material for my next book, I am leaving next month on a camel trip across the Sahara Desert. I have also accepted an invitation to Saudi Arabia to spend some time as the guest of an Arabian prince and his harem of 300 women. Signed, Jane Dollinger. Now, panel, as our next group of challengers come downstairs and take their seats, may I remind you that they all claim to be Jane Dollinger, author and adventurer. We'll begin this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Number 1, who is Louis Kotlow?
I don't know.
Number 2?
I don't know.
Number 3, Louis Kotlow?
He wrote a book about the Amazon headhunters, I believe.
Number 2, there is one cat in the cat family that has a very important basic difference from the other cats. Could you tell me what cat that is?
Well, basic difference in what sense?
Well, that's what I want you to tell me.
Little cats, big cats.
Big cats, wild cats. There's one cat that's very much different from the other cats in the cat family. Number 1, could you tell me?
No.
Number
I don't
3?
believe I can. No, I know nothing about cats.
Number 2, what is a coatamundi?
I don't know.
Number 1?
Sorry, the holy jaguar.
Jim Backus.
It says here on the affidavit you've spent 5 years in the jungles of South America. Number 3, did you ever run into any headhunters in the jungle?
Yes, I have.
Did you ever run into any head shrinkers?
Yes.
Well, not mine. He lives on Park Avenue. Number 2, in the Amazon, what is the name of that very dangerous fish?
That's a piranha.
Number 1, how many copies of your third book were sold?
Oh, about 10,000.
Number 3, what is the farthest city upstream in the Amazon?
The farthest city?
The one that has people and...
I'd say...
simple things.
I'd say Belém, Brazil.
What?
Belém, Brazil.
Anne?
Number 3. What is the name of the snake that has been known to track men?
To track men?
Yes. Very, very dangerous snake living in South America. Or crawling in South America. I don't know whether a snake lives anywhere.
Well, I've heard of a lot of snakes. I don't know if you'd say that they track men exactly.
Well, this one is supposed to be able to do this. He is that dangerous. He's been known. Well, all right.
There are plenty of snakes that track women. Hi.
Number 2, what airline flies South America mostly?
Well, Panagra mainly.
Number 3, is the name Dick Weldy familiar to you?
Yes, it is.
Who is he?
Well, he's the fellow who claims that he's an explorer.
Number 1, do you know who Dick Weldy is?
I believe he lived in Peru for some time and knew some people down there.
Number 3, can ordinary shotgun shells...
That's it. Sorry, we'll have to leave it on the shotgun shells. Good point to leave it at, too, when you come to think of it. It's time now to vote, so without consultation, once again, will you mark your ballots, and in so doing, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. All set, Polly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3 because she was the only young lady to recognize Louis Kotlow, who is a rather well-known explorer and writer of South America and South American headhunters and such.
Jim?
Of course, all 3 would be a lovely addition to any harem, but I voted for number 3 because I sort of got me, Tarzan, you, Jane vibration.
And Baxter, your choice this time, please.
Well, it sounds, like a chorus, but I voted for number 3. For several reasons. One, because of her answer to Polly's question, and also, I think she'll absolutely slay the Arabian Prince.
How about yours, Hi?
Well, I was going to vote for number 2 first because I thought a redhead would be the only one who would dare go to a harem of 300, but I voted for number 1 because she knew that Dick Weldy spent most of his time in Peru, and he hit the headlines about 2 years ago and is quite famous.
Okay, there we are now. You've had our reasons for the way we voted. How good are your reasons? Want to find out? Because you will right now as we reveal which one of these 3 ladies is the author-adventurer. So will the real Jane Dollinger please stand up? Thank you, Jane, very much. Wow.
Too.
Paddle, you came back strong that time. You really did. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do?
My name is Diane Hopkins, and I'm assistant to the vice president for Breyer of Amsterdam, a manufacturer of men's leather sportswear.
That's where you met her.
And number 2, what about you?
My name is Alice Denham, and I'm currently working as a hat check girl in Teddy's Cheer Club here in New York.
Yes, Anne. Make it a quick one because
Miss Dollinger, what I meant was a bushmaster. A snake called a bushmaster? Yes. Not a bushwhacker, a bushmaster.
Sorry, we haven't got time to beat around the bushmaster anymore. There was only one incorrect vote at $250 from Geritol, but thanks very much, ladies, for being with us. Hope you had fun. We enjoyed having you here. Good night and good night. Tonight, panel, I want to tell you that Jane Dollinger has written a new novel about bullfighting called Veronica, to show how versatile she is. And all of you good people being with us tonight on our show, I want to remind you that this month, millions of volunteers throughout the nation will be conducting a march on cerebral palsy. Be sure to be generous when they call on you, won't you? Good night, panel.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
And this is Bud Collier saying good night for Geritol and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night.
Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen's Gown by Wilma.